Imagine you're the only sane mind in a room where everyone swears the sky is green. Do you trust your eyes or the herd? That panic, that split second of doubt is exactly where the Asch experiment grabs you. In 1951, Solomon Asch invited young men to what looked like a simple vision test. But the real experiment was on you, on how fiercely social pressure can warp your common sense. One real participant, 6 fake colleagues. Card after card, they all cheerfully call an 8-inch line short when it's clearly long. The room feels it closing in on you. 75% of people cracked at least once, agreeing the short line was long just to avoid the awkward silence. 3/4 of us will trade truth for acceptance. Let that sink in. The brain isn't evil, it's social. Fear of ridicule, normative influence, shouts louder than facts, and suddenly your reality wobbles. Other times you're unsure, so you borrow the crowd's eyes, informational influence. If everyone says it's true, maybe you're the broken ruler. One ally is enough. When a single Confederate broke ranks, conformity plummeted by 80%. Courage is contagious. Remember that at your next meeting. Asch proved conformity isn't weakness. It's human wiring for tribe survival. But today, the tribe is a feed, a group chat, a boardroom, any place that can gaslight you into silence. So the next time a chorus tells you that's just how things are done, pause. Ask, do I believe this? Or am I scared to draw the longer line alone? Speak first. Back your truth with evidence. Invite quiet voices in. Be the lone dissenter who gives others permission to think with their own eyes. Because history doesn't remember the room that laughed. It remembers the one person who didn't laugh along. You think you'd never hurt someone just because someone told you to, right? But what if I told you that 2/3 of ordinary people just like you, would deliver a lethal electric shock to a stranger simply because a man in a white lab coat said it was necessary? I'm about to show you the most disturbing psychology experiment ever conducted. Picture this. It's 1961. And Yale psychologist Stanley Milgram watches Adolf Eichmann's war crimes trial on television. Eichmann's defense sends chills down Milgram's spine. I was just following orders. That's when Milgram realizes something terrifying. He's not watching a monster. He's watching an ordinary man. And Milgram wonders, could anyone become Eichmann? So Milgram creates a fake experiment. Real participants become teachers who must shock a learner for wrong answers. The shocks start at 15 volts. They escalate to 450 volts, labeled danger severe shock. The learner's screams echo through the walls. But here's the twist. Milgram isn't studying learning. He's studying you. The teacher sits before a terrifying control panel. 30 switches, each labeled with increasing voltage. The learner gets strapped to electrodes in the next room. When the learner makes mistakes, you, the teacher, must administer punishment. The learner's responses are pre-recorded. At 150 volts, he screams, "Let me out, I have a heart condition, what would you do?" You hesitate. You look at the experimenter in his white coat. He says, "Please continue." Your hand hovers over the switch. Your conscience screams no, but something deeper, something primal whispers yes. You press the button. 75 volts. The learner grunts. 120 volts. He complains loudly. 150 volts. He demands to be released. You glance at the experimenter. The experiment requires that you continue. You keep going. 275 volts. Silence from the next room. The learner isn't responding anymore. You panic. Maybe he's unconscious, maybe he's dead. The experimenter says you have no choice, you must go on. And you do. Here's where it gets truly terrifying. Before the experiment, Milgram asked psychologists to predict how many people would go all the way to 450 volts. Their estimate? 0.1%. Only a psychopath would do that, they said. The actual result? 65%. 2 out of 3 ordinary people became killers. Let that sink in. Not monsters, not sociopaths. Ordinary postal workers, teachers, construction workers. People with kids, mortgages, and dogs. People who vote, volunteer at church, and help elderly neighbors with groceries. They all became executioners. Milgram discovered something that should terrify every single one of us. Evil isn't exceptional. Evil is banal. Evil is your neighbor. Evil is you. When authority whispers, our conscience becomes surprisingly negotiable. But here's the real mind-blower. Milgram's participants weren't sadists. They were traumatized. They sweated, trembled, begged to stop. Yet they kept pressing those switches. They weren't following orders because they wanted to. They were following orders because questioning authority felt impossible. So next time you think you'd never harm someone just because someone told you to, remember Milgram's warning. The line between good and evil doesn't run between people. It runs through every human heart, including yours. The question isn't whether you could become a monster. The question is, when will your moment of obedience arrive, and will you recognize it before it's too late? Imagine you woke up tomorrow inside a prison cell. No warning, no crime, just a uniform slapped on your back. That's exactly what happened to 24 college kids in 1971. Stay with me, because in under 2 minutes you'll see how thin the line really is between you and God. Psychologist Philip Zimbardo wanted to know, are cruel guards born that way, or does the prison itself turn people evil? So he built a fake jail in Stanford's basement, flipped a coin, and boom! Some boys became guards, others prisoners, random, no training, just labels. Within hours, the guards tasted power. They woke prisoners at 2 a.m. for head counts, made them do push-ups on command, and stripped them naked for inspection. No one taught them this. They improvised, and the cameras caught every smirk. Day 2, the prisoners rebelled, ripping ID numbers off their shirts, barricading cell doors. The guards panicked, then retaliated with fire extinguisher blasts, solitary in closets, and psychological game playing. Suddenly it wasn't a game, it was war. Ever felt a role swallow your identity? That's what was happening. By day 3, prisoners broke. One had a psychosomatic rash so bad they released him. Others cried in corners, yet none said, "I quit." Why? Because we're wired to obey the story we're placed inside. And here's the twist. Zimbardo himself got swept up playing prison superintendent, blind to the abuse. Only when an outsider, his grad student girlfriend, witnessed the night shift and burst into tears did the spell break. 6 days. That's all it took for normal students to sink into sadism or despair. A 2-week experiment? Canceled. Ethics boards rewrote their rulebooks overnight. So ask yourself, if a coin toss can turn you into a tyrant or a wreck, what does that say about free will? About the systems we walk into every day, schools, offices, social media mobs. The uniform doesn't just cloth you, it scripts you. The takeaway isn't that people are evil. It's that situations hold terrifying power, and awareness is your only shield. Notice the roles you play. Question them. Next time you're handed authority, moderator keys, a managerial title, a following online, pause. Remember the Stanford basement. Will you be the guard who humiliates or the one who refuses the script? And if you ever feel trapped by a label, channel prisoner 8612. He demanded out, then spent decades warning the world, Systems won't save you. You have to save yourself. Because the next experiment is already running. It's called real life. You know that moment when you're standing outside a restaurant, peeking through the windows, and something magical happens? Your brain whispers, "If all those people are eating there, it must be incredible." That's social proof hijacking your decision-making, and here's the wild part. You're not even aware it's happening. Your mind is literally outsourcing its judgment to strangers. Think about it. Last time you chose a movie, picked a restaurant, or bought something online, what did you do first? You checked the reviews, the ratings, the crowd. But here's where it gets fascinating. When situations feel uncertain or ambiguous, your brain cranks this instinct up to 11. You don't just want social proof, you desperately need it. We're talking about your primitive survival programming here. Safety in numbers isn't just a saying, it's literally hardwired into your DNA. Ever notice how laugh tracks make jokes seem funnier? Or how bestseller labels suddenly make books irresistible? That's social proof manufacturing desirability. But here's the dangerous twist. Everyone waiting in that exclusive club line might be thinking the same thing. If all these people are waiting, this place must be amazing. What if nobody actually knows what's happening? What if everyone's just copying everyone else, creating this beautiful illusion of certainty? Welcome to pluralistic ignorance. The most powerful social proof comes from people you perceive as similar to yourself. That's why testimonials work so devastatingly well. Your brain thinks, if someone like me loved this product, I'll probably love it too. It's shortcut thinking, and marketers exploit it brilliantly. But understanding this mechanism changes everything. You can consciously override the herd instinct and make decisions based on your actual needs. So next time you feel yourself being drawn to something because everyone's doing it, pause. Ask yourself, do I actually want this, or am I just following the crowd? The answer might surprise you. You ever catch yourself leaning in when your friend leans in? Or suddenly crossing your arms right after your boss does? That, my friend, is your brain's secret superpower at work. Scientists call it the Chameleon Effect. And it's happening to you right now, whether you realize it or not. Every conversation, every coffee date, every awkward elevator ride. Here's the wild part. You're not doing this on purpose. Your mirror neurons are firing like tiny copy machines, making you unconsciously mimic the person in front of you. Two psychologists, Chartrand and Barg, discovered this in 1999. They had actors intentionally mirror some participants while talking, shaking feet, rubbing faces, the usual stuff. The participants whose movements were copied, they instantly liked the actor more. But here's where it gets really interesting. The participants never noticed they were being copied, not once, yet their brains were already forming deeper connections. This isn't just about copying, though. It's about survival. When you mirror someone, you're silently saying, "I'm like you. You can trust me." Your empathy levels shoot up. Your ability to understand their perspective sharpens. It's like your brain is building an invisible bridge between two people, one micro-expression at a time. And the person being mirrored, they feel it too. More comfortable, more connected, more willing to say yes. So while you're worried about saying the right thing, your body is already having its own conversation. Copying, connecting, charming. Next time you're in a meeting or on a date, pay attention to who's unconsciously matching whom. the person everyone gravitates toward. They're usually the best chameleon in the room, because in a world where everyone's trying to stand out, sometimes the real power lies in blending in. Your brain knew this all along. Pretty clever, right? You ever notice how some people just glow when you believe in them? That's not magic, it's science. It's called the Pygmalion Effect. And in the next 2 minutes, it might just change how you treat everyone you care about. Picture this. A teacher in 1968 is told that a handful of her kids are secret geniuses, intellectual bloomers, they said. Thing is, the names were picked at random. By June, those random kids' IQs had skyrocketed. Same brains, same school, same teacher, different expectations. What happened? She smiled at them more, gave tougher questions, waited a heartbeat longer for their answers. Tiny sparks every day that told them, "You've got this." And their brains caught fire. Here's the takeaway: when you expect greatness, you unconsciously open the cage door. You lean in, you listen harder, you hand over the mic. The other person feels the space, and suddenly they stretch their wings, flip it, and you get the golem effect. Low expectations. They land like wet cement on the soul. People shrink to fit the box you built for them, so ask yourself, who in your life is still small because you never told them they could be huge? Tonight, send one text that starts with, "I've always believed you could," and finish the sentence. One sentence, 12 words. Watch what happens, because belief is contagious. The moment you pass it, it multiplies. They perform better, you cheer louder, they rise again, an infinite loop of awesome. Remember, the Pygmalion Effect doesn't care about DNA or resumes. It cares about the story you write on someone else's heart. So be the author of a plot twist. Lift the label. Swap average for astonishing. Do it out loud. Do it often. Do it today. Your expectations are a mirror. Show people the reflection of who they could become and watch them step into the frame. Don't wait for them to prove you right. Prove them right first. Believe louder. Because when you expect miracles, miracles start expecting you. Ever met someone and bam, you just feel they've got it all together? That instant glow you cast on them. That's the halo effect slipping into the driver's seat of your brain. Your mind loves shortcuts. It hates juggling mixed signals, so it bundles traits into one neat package. If they're great at X, they must rock Y and Z. One sparkle, total shine. Psychologist Edward Thorndike spotted this in 1920. Army officers rated as tall and sharp were also marked braver, kinder, smarter. No extra data, just one shiny halo polishing every column. Think about the last job interview you watched. The confident speaker walks in, and before they answer a single question, you're already picturing them as natural leader, top performer, future CEO. Same resume, different halo. Beauty gets the biggest halo. Studies show we reflexively tag attractive people as more competent, trustworthy, even wealthier. No evidence, just a face launching 1,000 assumptions. Brands ride the same glow. One knockout product, say, a phone that nails the camera, and suddenly every gadget they make feels innovative. That halo sells watches, laptops, even toasters, but halos can flip into horns. One scandal, one bad review, and the same brain snaps to the horn effect. If they failed here, they must be rotten everywhere. One bruise, total discard. Quick hack before you crown or crucify anyone. Scribble 3 concrete facts about the unrelated trait you're judging. forces your neurons to swap halo for evidence, and you'll spot hidden gems or landmines you almost missed. So next time you're swayed by a dazzling smile or a sleek logo, pause. Ask yourself, am I seeing the full person or just the glow? Because once you know the halo effect is pulling your strings, you can cut them. Judge resumes dates and devices on their real track record, not the shiny aura. Imagine the edge you'll have. Spotting underrated talent, avoiding overhyped brands, making sharper calls, while everyone else is still blinded by the light.